I am not surprised to see the end of Trump's at least first 4 years ending chaotically, since that is how they began and that is how they went. And that is why he was elected in the first place, to be a disruptor. So why are people so shocked that he continues to disrupt?
All right, this is the Rubin Report. I'm Dave Rubin, and we are doing a quick on-the-fly interview today because I mentioned on the show the other day, I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't know who's making sense. I don't know who's looking at the world with clear eyes. And I went through my mental Rolodex, and Megyn Kelly popped up. And Megyn, you agreed to do the show just like that, and here we are. How you doing?
I'm doing well. For you, Dave, anytime. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose.
All right. Well, here are my notes for today's interview.
Oh, and you're just like Amy Coney Barrett.
I got nothing, although my guys did tell me this is going to air on Sunday. We're taping this Friday afternoon, so people will have to bear with, if any little crazy vote got changed or anything else. But generally speaking, as we tape this on Friday afternoon, how are you feeling about the state of this election? The media portion of it, the recount portion of it, Biden, Trump, the whole damn thing.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Let's do them one at a time.
I am not surprised to see the end of Trump's at least first 4 years ending chaotically, since that is how they began and that is how they went. And that is why he was elected in the first place, to be a disruptor. So why are people so shocked that he continues to disrupt right up to what appear to be the last final moments of his, if not his presidency, the time in his presidency before election. I think Trump has lost. I do. I know people don't want to hear that, but I think he's lost. And I think a lot of people are struggling to accept it, right? It's like a grief process. The first step is denial. And I think Trump, and I'm not saying that we should do all the stuff. We should check out what's happening in Pennsylvania. He should see those legal challenges through. We should make sure we have a Wisconsin recount and a Georgia recount. But my assessment from where I sit out here is there are not enough gettable votes, even if he can prove fraud or some untoward process with the mail-in votes, to get him over the top anymore. That phase has passed.
Do you have faith that the numbers that we're getting are real? Like, do you have faith that not only the people on the ground in whatever state you want to pick, whatever city you want to pick, are being honest, and that is being translated to us honestly through the media? Do you have faith in that?
Not utter faith, but enough faith. I mean, these are the same people who did the count 4 years ago, and he won. So let's be real. They didn't just become fraudulent, vote counters in the past 4 years, and they also hated him 4 years ago. It's not like they loved him. They thought he was going to be full of love and rainbows when he got into office. They wanted to kill him 4 years ago. And, Philadelphia is famous for its voter fraud. And so these problems have existed long before now. And what I'm seeing in the electoral process to me, it's akin to like when we went HD in television, where everything looked just fine when it was like this, a little fuzzy. And then when you could see it up close and personal, it was like, my eyes, oh my God, I didn't want to see this. It's hideous. And that's what's happening with our electoral process. It isn't perfect. It's far from perfect. It's the best we have. Should we do better? Can we do better? Yes and yes. Hello, Florida. Let's just be like Florida. But we're not right now. And we're not going to get it to the point of, now it's perfect. And we can perfectly know that every vote that was proper was counted and everyone that wasn't was not. It's not going to happen, people. That's not the way our system is built. So we're going to have to do good enough. That's how the system's set up. And even the votes he's counting, even the ones he's like, that was fraudulently filled out, or that's blah, blah, blah. You're talking about handfuls here and there. You're not talking about 70,000 votes that's going to get him over the top in Arizona. That's not going to happen. And, the places where it's tightest, Biden is ahead. Biden is ahead right now in Georgia. Biden is ahead in a couple of these states that Trump is contesting. So I just think the odds of Trump turning this around right now are infinitesimal. And so I'm not saying it's totally impossible, but realistically, if you want to know what I think he's lost. And I don't think his legal challenges or the recounts are going to amount to much.
Yeah. So what do you think he'll do? Do you think he just runs the table with every legal recount, every legal course of action and just does absolutely anything? Or do you sense that maybe at some point, if what you're saying is right, that he will throw in the towel.
I know that throwing in the towel doesn't sound like Trump.
Yeah.
And I also think he owes it to his supporters who love him and don't trust these systems for good reasons to see these challenges through. I have no problem with him stoking those fires and getting in there and making sure, to the extent he can, maybe it's his final act as president, right before his lame duck period, to like disrupt yet another system, to upend it, blow it up, and ultimately make it better, right? Tear it down so we can come back better for the next 4-year period. But I support his willingness to challenge these, where he has good faith evidence of a problem, like what happened in Pennsylvania with allowing the mail-in votes to be postmarked on election day, something that was approved by judges and not legislators, which is not okay. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. Supreme Court refused to take that challenge. They said, get back to us if this becomes an ongoing problem after the election and if there's a split in the states that we might have to resolve. He should pursue that. He should. But again, it doesn't look like there are enough votes in that pile that could help him. Anyway, I think he should see it through. I don't think he should give up before he has to. But I think realistically, when it becomes clear that he's lost, we're going to need the people who are closest to him, who he trusts, not the media, which he doesn't, for good reason, to sit him down and say, it's no longer about you. This is about the country. And there will be a peaceful transfer of power. And while you can go out there and say, I have real problems with the way the system conducted itself, and I don't know about this vote, I am going to pass the torch and put America first, to quote somebody we all know.
Do you think that part of his calculation of even if he sees it, that he's lost, like the challenges aren't going anywhere, that part of it will be the burn it down thing? Because, even just a few minutes before we started here, I saw a tweet by AOC and, in effect, we're going to have to come for Trump and his, they keep saying enablers and the sycophants and whatever. And it's like, a few weeks ago, Robert Reich, who was in the Clinton administration, talking about a Truth and Reconciliation Commission and that these people love lists and all of these weird things. And it's like, for all the chance of lock her up, it never happened. There was nobody knocking on Hillary's door, and that Trump may feel, and I think actually for good reason, that these people, whether the guy did anything illegal or not, they've created this monster in their heads, let's say, and that they will do things that are unimaginable in the American political landscape.
Well, I think, yes, they will. It's not paranoia when they really are out to get you. And that explains a lot of Trump's behavior. I mean, I think the media is like so disgusted by his rhetoric from the White House. And like, it's not great. I'm not going to defend it. But I understand where he's coming from. They have been out to get him for more than 4 years. The media is his enemy. They absolutely are his enemy. And the Democrats loathe him in a special way. And one does have to wonder if a lot of these Democrats think the ends justify the means. I mean, we really have had a baseless attempt to impeach the guy that was right on the heels of a completely made up Russia investigation. And not to mention all the non-controversies the media fed off of for the last 4 years. So he is right to totally distrust them. The pollsters have had it totally wrong when it comes to Trump all along. I do want to make a distinction between the pollsters who predict vote prior to the vote and the people at the decision desks who analyze for a living raw vote tallies. Two totally different animals, okay? So just because we don't trust the pollsters like Nate Silver doesn't mean we shouldn't trust the Fox News decision desk. But anyway, Trump has a general distrust of these systems that's well-founded. And so do his fans. And that's why I think people aren't being nuts right now. It's not like crazy conspiratorial people like no one, but it's based on data. It's based on experience. And to expect the left to understand any of that is too much to expect. They won't. There isn't grace on the other side. I mean, there's great guys like Andrew Yang, right, who's saying all the right things, like be cool and like let's not go too far and whatever. And then there's just jerks like AOC, or Nancy Pelosi coming out and saying we have a mandate, which you don't even have close to a mandate. And one other point on her. The more you say you have a mandate, which you clearly do not, you lost House seats instead of gaining them. It looks like you're not going to have control of the Senate. You didn't get the blue wave at the presidential level. The more the Republicans, if they do take over that Senate, are going to do to stymie every piece of Joe Biden's agenda. There will be no grace on their side either.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about the media instead of nonstop yelling, check out our media playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out the full episode playlist. They're both right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.